Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Scott's Selections here for Sunday, February 7th. Before getting today's play today, a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up splitting. We gave out two plays in the early afternoon college basketball card, and we ended up having two really different results in those two games. Gave out Toledo -8.5 and -110 on BetMGM as it ended up taking on Ball State. And Toledo, despite being up 3 at the half, ended up getting absolutely destroyed in the second half, lost by double digits outright in a pretty big shocker there. And then we ended up winning with Clemson -2.5 and -110 on BetMGM. Clemson was pretty much up 20 at halftime, and they coasted. So it was a nice, easy winner there. So 1-1 basically broke even, but it is what it is. And now I know that it's Super Bowl Sunday. However, I think all of you have realized that Scott Steed and I have already done 3 separate videos on the Super Bowl. So for that reason, so I feel like it's time to talk about another sporting event that's going to be happening, and that will be the NBA. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be waiting for the Super Bowl, of course, starting at 6:30, but you have NBA and college basketball, and they started all of their games particularly early at around either noon all the way through to about 4 p.m. So for that reason, we're going to be talking about one of those games, as I think there is some value in one game in particular. It's going to be on the NBA. It's going to be in a matchup in the Eastern Conference between two below-average teams. It's going to be between the Washington Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets. And for this play, we're going to be taking the Hornets team total over 117.5 at -105 on Fox Bet, a time recording of 9:04 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like the over on the Charlotte's team total here. First of all, Washington, of course, has been one of the worst teams in the league. It's really a no-brainer. Second worst team in the East behind Detroit. Washington, the main reason why this team is terrible is because of the defense. With Westbrook and Beal, not exactly a great defensive backcourt. I know losing Thomas Bryant early in this year also caused them to lose some rim protection. Washington currently ranks 29th in the league in defensive efficiency, which is the second worst if you're doing the math at home. Washington also ranks first in the league when it comes to pace. So Washington, in addition to not playing any defense at all, kind of embraced the Nets philosophy of we're going to score really quickly and then let you hit layups on the other end, and we're going to turn this game into a track meet. Seems to be why the Wizards are 5-14, and the defense has been absolutely terrible, which is the main reason why. But looking at some other factors here, Charlotte has also played really well offensively over the last couple of games. Charlotte has scored at least 121 points in 3 of its last 4 games. I know Devontae Graham is out. However, we also, LaMelo Ball did in his last game, scoring a career-high 34 points. So I don't think that Graham's absence will be as felt as people might think. Plus, Graham hasn't exactly had the greatest of years. I know that he bursted onto the scene last year, but I still think that Charlotte should be able to pick apart this Washington defense pretty handily. And Washington's defense has not gotten any better over the course of the season, as Washington has allowed at least 121 points in 3 of its last 4 games. Plus, 6 of Charlotte's last 7 overall games have gone over the posted total. So for that reason, Charlotte has played a lot of fast-paced, high-scoring games over the past 2 weeks or so. Washington's been doing that all season long. Total in this game is currently at 235.5, and I simply think that both these teams should probably get into the 120s. But I do think there's a good chance that Charlotte, in particular, should have a great offensive performance in this game, especially off a 2-game losing streak. But those were against very good teams, against the likes of playoff teams, really. I had to play Utah. I had to play Philly. Also ended up beating Milwaukee earlier in the week. But if you want to actually look at those performances, just to go through it, Charlotte scored 121 points against Utah, 111 against Philly. Now, I know 111 against Philly doesn't sound that impressive, but bear with me for a second. And they ended up scoring 126 against Milwaukee. So they went over in 2 of those 3 games. To go through the defense efficiency rankings of those 3 teams, Utah, 3rd. Philadelphia, 4th. Milwaukee, 8th. So they played 3 separate top 8 defenses in the league and scored at least 121 points in 2 of those 3 games. And now they face off against the second worst defense in the league. I think there's a good chance Charlotte pushes 120, probably even closer to 125. But the fact that this team totals at 117.5 for me is a gift, especially at -105. And until Washington proves to me, I know that it ended up stopping Miami offensively in that one game. I think that was more of a fluke because the game after they gave up 122. So until I actually see Washington with Westbrook and Beal showcase some form of defense, I just simply have to take Charlotte here with the over. And I do think that the Hornets should be able to have a pretty solid game at home, especially after losing its last 2 games against quality opposition. And they'll be very motivated for this spot. So for that reason, the play of the day here for Sunday, February 7th is going to be on the Charlotte Hornets team total over 117.5 at -105 on Fox Bet. That's been Stomach's Cut Selection. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.